In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how I went from a failing student to a top student. Are you struggling in school, or is your child or anyone you know struggling to get good grades? It's actually possible for them to change the trajectory, to improve their grades, and to do this step by step. Welcome to EduSens Africa. This is where I bring you educational videos to teach you more about educational pathways, careers you can get into, opportunities, and any other thing that relates to your education and your career path. So let me start with a little background about how I actually became a top student when I was in school. I studied in a primary school called Lugulu Boarding Primary School in western part of Kenya. But before I went to boarding school, I was in a day school that didn't really care much about someone's grade. It was basically just going to school, passing time, growing up, and so on. So when I was about 10-11 years old, my parents decided to take me to a boarding school, and this school was actually very, very competitive. I found out that people take studies very seriously, and I realized that I was actually failing, I was lagging behind, and it wasn't a pleasant state to be in. I decided, you know what, I have to do something about this because my parents are paying a lot of money to be here, and I needed to change how my future would look like. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 things that worked for me absolutely well, and within one semester or one term, I actually became a top student, the top 10 students out of more than 150 students, and before that I was between 120 to 150 when it came to my performance. The number one thing I decided to do is I decided to make a timetable. You know, normally when you're in a boarding school, or even when you're just studying in a day school and going home every day, you have a lot of things that you have to handle. If you make a timetable, it guides you on what to do and when to do it. If you're staying at home, for example, you'll have duties you have to do at home, you'll have homework you have to do, you'll have to study, and many other things. Once you make a timetable, it will guide you to know that within a day I have 4 hours I'm going to dedicate to studying, and these 4 hours you're able to further break it down to what will you study between a certain time and a certain time. When you make a timetable, a secret I can give you is try to make it equal between all subjects, but add a little bit more time to the subject that you are struggling with. If you know that you're very good at English or Kiswahili or any other subject, but you're struggling with mathematics, try to add an extra hour or an extra 2 hours or even 30 minutes to mathematics, so that you concentrate more on it, you practice more on it, and you bring it up to the same level as the other subjects. So from today onwards, if you've been struggling with your performance and you have not been using a timetable, go sit down, make a timetable, and I promise you it will change the way you perform. The second thing that will change your performance is actually making short notes. Normally you will have books where you are writing notes about biology, about chemistry, but sometimes it's really overwhelming when you look at the big book you have to read and the amount of time you have. What you do, open a specific page as you are reading through it, read, understand, and make short notes, maybe 1 or 2 sentences on each page that you need to understand and to recall. This is very helpful because once you are done studying 20-30 pages, you'll be coming back to each of these pages and you only have 1 or 2 sentences to go through. It will help you to save on time, it will help you not to be overwhelmed, and it will also help you to only concentrate on the things that carry a lot of weight when it comes to the whole topic or the whole page that you have covered. Try making short notes. You can either use the same book you're making your class notes, or you can have a small notebook and make sure that you don't put everything, you don't make it too wordy, just summarize the points that you actually need to remember. The third secret I used is asking questions. You need to ask 3 people questions. You need to ask yourself questions, you need to ask your peers questions, and you need to ask your teachers. How do you ask yourself? When you're studying and you've understood a topic and you're trying to understand maybe a concept, try to ask yourself questions about the concept you have read, because when you answer them, you're actually making your mind recall it. You're actually making your mind understand the whole concept further. Don't just be reading and cramming and moving forward from one page to another. Try to read a page, understand it, then ask yourself. Another tip you can use is when you read, maybe yesterday you read about something and today you also have an hour of biology, for example. Before you start reading today's content, ask yourself questions from what you did yesterday. That way, your mind trains itself to remember better, and by the end of it all, your performance will actually improve greatly. When it comes to asking your peers and asking your teachers, try to make sure that if you don't understand a concept or maybe it's not very clear, try to ask so that people can show you how they have understood it, and maybe they will give you a better way to look at it, and that way you will understand it better or you'll find it easier to remember. So the next time you're reading and you have doubts or you want to remember better, remember this tip of asking yourself questions, asking your peers, and asking your teachers. The next tip is actually obvious, but unfortunately most people don't do this. Always remember to do your assignment. There's a reason why your teacher gives you assignments, because in most cases, the same questions you're going to do in this assignment, you will most likely find them in the examinations, and they will also help you to understand the concepts better. So if you're that type of student who waits for the last minute, takes another student's assignment and copies it, remember you're actually doing yourself a disservice, because this assignment is supposed to help you understand better and remember better when it comes to examinations or when it comes to specific concepts that you have covered in class. Kindly make sure that from today onwards you do your assignments and you do them on time, and if you fail anything on the assignment, revise it or ask your teacher so that they can clarify for you whatever it was all about. Before I go to the last and the bonus point, please take a moment and like this video if you are enjoying the content, and also if you've not yet subscribed to this channel, make sure that you do it, because every week I bring you content that you don't want to miss out on. There are opportunities for scholarships, fully funded both locally and abroad, that I'll be bringing you every single week, and you never know, it can be helpful for you or for someone that you know. So subscribe to this channel and let's keep going. The fifth very, very important point is you need to be revising exam papers. You know what, guys? Every single year, the exam is basically the same. They are going to be changing few things here and there, but they will ask questions revolving around the same concept. So if you revise papers the past 5 years or even the past 7 to 10 years, you'll find that you will likely come across 50 or 40% of things that you've already covered in these papers in the exam that you are going to do. Maybe the curriculum has changed a little bit, things have been revised here and there, but at the end of the day, the things that you cover when it comes to biology, chemistry, mathematics, the concepts always remain the same. The manner in which they ask questions may change, and so when you revise across the different years, it gives you an understanding of how these questions will be framed and how you should be able to answer them. The bonus point I had for you is the fact that you need to actually rest. Rest is very, very important, because this is the time your brain actually relaxes. You're able to rejuvenate yourself, you're able to relax, and when you start reading again, your mind is ready to take in new ideas and is actually ready to remember what you studied previously. So please make sure that every single night you have at least 7 or 8 hours of sleep minimum, because it helps you, it helps your body even heal, it helps you rejuvenate, and when you wake up in the morning, you'll be fresh to study again and to even perform better. This is something that is backed up by scientific research. It's advisable. Doctors tell us every single day you need to sleep enough if you want to be at your best when you are awake and chasing after different things, be it education or just life in general. When it comes to doing activities like going to the sports, for example, doing drama in school, you know, just meeting with friends and chilling, these are also different types of resting, and your brain actually needs it. Please don't stress too much so that you are reading all the time and you don't have time to think about other things in life. They are very, very important. They will help you and they will also enable you to even perform better. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to share it with anyone that will also enjoy and learn from it, because that's how we make the world a better place. Thank you. I hope to see you in the next video.